The rhetorical warpath of Scar, a detailed technical epic ode on play style and philosophical theology memes in Veridigus. An emergence interpretation explanation through vividly evocative verbiage and technical symbolic structures. I. The inceptive pulse, logos in motion. Scar does not play in the common tongue. He enacts, he invokes, he embodies a playstyle as ontology, a metaphysical architecture of motion tethered to intent. His playstyle is not mechanics, it is ritualized rhythm, interpreted through keyword cycles that summon cosmological meanings. His every step echoes a syllogism, every blade stroke a theological decree. This is not gameplay. It is rhetorical volition sculpted through movement. The battlefield is his scroll, the opponent his interlocutor, and the blade his syntax marker, each slash a verse of structured intention. 2. The theological pulse cycle. Memes as ritual relics. Scar's play style is woven from philosophical theology memes, meme as ideogram, meme as covenant. These are not fleeting images, but structured ideological glyphs encoded with transcendent semiotic density. Rhetorical influence, motion becomes persuasion. Primal Zion, the battlefield is sacred, the strike, a psalm. Form self, identity crystallizes through action, not label. Volition consent, Scar's power is not forced, it is aligned. Soul alchemy, each fight is an inner transmutation. Architect becoming, the blade builds as it breaks. These memes cycle. They permutate. They do not entertain, they summon. Each meme is a lens in the crystalline sovereignty paradigm, a mimetic recursion framework that defines the limits of legibility and becoming. 3. Play style pattern, the emergent she of combat liturgies. Scar's play style follows a structure of emergent she, a logic tempo body harmony. He moves through the 12/ cycle, each strike a rhetorical inflection point. These motions are not offensive, they are ontological questions asked of his enemy's structure. Key movement terms. Lock, strike plus bind, assertion of thesis. Tide, bind plus block, emergent synthesis. Graph, strike plus block, counterclaim. Node, strike plus block, proof. Rock, block plus bind, closure. Each gesture is performed within the sacred tempo of 3 beats per bar, 48 BPM, anchoring the sacred time signature that pulses through all of Veridigus. Footwork is syllogism. Swordplay is argument. Failure is a lapse in rhetoric, not combat technique. IV. Structures of semantic combat. Weapon systems as liturgical tools. Scar's weapon systems are not loadouts, they are liturgical configurations. 1. Tempo and rhythm, twin blades. Twin dialectics. Dual aspects of becoming. Tempo, viper inverted, oriented, subtle recursion, strike as feint. Rhythm, striking, parrying, the forward thread of logical assertion. 2. Scathe and bladed bow, long-range rhetoric. Transformation of syntax into prophecy. The median 3DGR nook serves as a semantic axis, a cruciform grammar tree on which truths are crucified and reborn. Each system configures behaviors based on face color number, drawing from the 3DGR lattice. Yellow circle yellow equals strike, thrust, apical statement. Blue circle blue equals rotation, counterargument. Purple circle purple equals stabilize, foundational premise. Through rotational axis shifts X, Y, Z, Scar translates physical movement into semantic recursion, crafting sentences of swordplay that echo across dimensions. V. Intensive play style. Apocalyptic rhetoric in motion. Scar's play style manifests an apocalyptic intention, not as end, but as unveiling. Every strike is an unmasking of structure, a revelatory gesture that breaks illusion and reveals correspondence. Greater than Scar does not fight for dominance. He fights to reveal the plan of correspondence. Within each clash, Scar unveils the metaphysics of opposition. His enemies are not defeated, they are interpreted. His victories are not conquests, they are semantic harmonizations. His death was not a loss, it was a rhetorical completion. He does not counter aggression with force. He counters it with precision of alignment. He does not wield power. He wields coherence. V. Emergence interpretation explanation. Scar is dynamic constant. Scar is not bound by arc or arcana, he is a dynamic constant, shifting but always structurally honest. His play style is a vessel for epistemological purification, all lies collapse before the integrity of his motion. Syntactical judgment, only that which aligns survives the lattice of the 3D-GR. Narrative compression, through his movements, he reduces entire belief systems to a single, clean stroke. To interpret Scar's play style is to understand the semantic tempo of a multiversal system. He is not a warrior. He is a walking rhetorical filter. 7. The closing chord, the blade is final word. Scar's final strike was not against Jasper. It was through her, a rhetorical blade passing not through body, but through symbolic architecture. In that strike, he folded the playstyle into prophecy. He became the period at the end of a metaphysical paragraph. His silence thereafter is not absence. It is punctuation. Epilogue. Scar's play style is a symphony of philosophical theology memes interpreted through recursive symbolism, sacred tempo, semantic swordplay, intentional footwork, emergent she, rhetorical combat. He is not playing, he is preaching, not to win, but to redefine the grammar of existence. To become, blade by blade, the rhetorical ethos of the multiverse. Greater than, the blade did not strike. It spoke. And the world, rewritten, understood. Swordplay of the soul, a technical epic ode of rhetorical becoming in the realm of Veridigus. An emergence interpretation in vividly evocative verbiage. By the whisper of the 3D-GR and the rhythm of rhetorical logos. The forge of intention, initiating the ritual cycle. Upon the prism-laced dawn of Veridigus, where philosophical theology memes are not just ideology but weaponized structure, emerges the play style of Scar, a sovereign design of intention rendered in motion, syntax, and syllabic soulcraft. The medium is not only matter, it is rhetorical ether, where truth is not told but embodied, and combat is not conquest but cosmic commentary. This is not a battlefield. This is a ritual crucible, where Scar's movements encode metaphysics, and each sword dance syllogizes ontology. The play style is a mimetic sequence. Every strike equals a thesis. Every block equals an antithesis. Every bind equals a synthesis in motion. This asynchronic swordplay is a mode of theological becoming. 2. 3D-GR is ontological schema, the weapon is meme. Each weapon, tempo, rhythm, scathe, the bladed bow, is constructed from the 6 colored faces of the 3-dimensional golden rhombus. Not mere geometry, but encoded archetypes. Yellow circle top, strike, lunge, the thrust of will to form. Red circle front right clockwise, the assertion of rhetorical power. Blue circle front left anti-rotary, the retreat into reflective pathos. Purple circle bottom stability, the grounding of material rhetoric. Orange circle back right counter-rotation, the reversal of temporal intent. Green circle back left clockwise return, the memory of origin point. Every movement through these planes invokes a semiotic cosmos, a metaphysical stance across space-time, where body equals glyph, blade equals syntax, intention equals signal. 3. Swordplay is teleosemiotic ritual. Scar's sequences follow the 12 key-word cycles, not just physical moves but symbolic transformations. 1. Lock, thesis initiation. 2. Side, antithesis mirror. 3. Tide, emotional surge. 4. Wire, precision thread. 5. Pale, strategic ghost. 6. Sarge, the spiral trap. 7. Vine, organic convergence. 8. Graph, etching intent. 9. Buoy, resonant recovery. 10. Knot, philosophical binding. 11. Node, nexus of meaning. 12. Rock, foundational truth. Each maneuver is a mnemonic, a memory fragment of cosmic becoming. These are not attacks in a game. They are debates with the divine. Dialogues rendered in motion, steps written on the sacred scroll of terrain. IV. Keyword cycles is mimetic dialectic. Within the crystalline sovereignty paradigm (CSP), each keyword cycle functions as a recursive mimetic engine. Sovereign nexus. Scar's unchanging center, his anchoring 3DGR heart. Harmonic expansion. Each strike reverberates outward, changing the world's structure by symbolic force. Crystalline threshold. Only compatible responses ethically resonant integrate, all others fracture. Immutable lattice. His style becomes a cultural node, replicable only by those who understand the logos beneath the lunge. Thus, every clash is a refinement of logos, not a domination. Every opponent is a co-creator in this fractal play. V. Rhetorical intent structure. The philosopher's combat. Scar does not fight to win. Scar fights to transform the concept of victory. He wields his bladed 3DGR bow not to conquer, but to unmake illusion. The true battle is not with Jasper. It is with the idea of Jasper, control, subjugation, spectacle. Scar's weaponized syntax operates through rhetorical awe, the silent grandeur of sacred movement. Rhetorical integrity, binding motion to meaning. Rhetorical liberty, letting go of control for emergence. Rhetorical divinity, merging form with purpose. Each sequence is thus not gameplay, but a liturgical recomposition of ethics, realigning the user with cosmic teleology. V. Play style is rhetorical becoming. To wield Scar's style is not to mimic his steps, it is to be remade by the pattern that remembers itself. The player's learning arc becomes 1. Imitation, movement as memory. 2. Rupture, recognition of discord. 3. Inquiry, search for syntactic truth. 4. Correspondence, aligning self with fractal form. 5. Emergence, becoming the 3DGR in motion. The play style becomes ontology embodied, a sacred gameplay language, where success is not domination but county creation of rhythm. 7. Closing proclamation, the dance of logos. Scar dances not to dazzle. He dances to declare that structure can be ethical, that creation can be consensual, that truth must be performed to be felt. The swordplay of Scar is the soul's struggle to speak through form. His legacy is not a castle. It is not a war. It is a rhetorical pulse etched into the body of Viridigus, where every strike is an epiphany, and every cycle a stanza in the eternal epic of emergence. So take up the bladed bow. Step into the beat of 3 clicks per bar. And let the world witness your syllogism. For in Viridigus, every true warrior is a writer. And every true strike, a sacred sentence. Epic ode of the architect eternal, the play style of Scar and the rhetorical plan. A vividly technical emergence interpretation of Viridigus and the ethos of the 3DGR. Overture. The axiom bearer wields the unspeakable geometry. In the primordial quiet, before names, before kings, before sin. He did not breathe, he pulsed. Scar, not birthed, but resolved into being. Through the crystalline lattice of ought not was. Where others saw void, he charted tension. Where mortals sought chaos, he forged rhythm. Not by conquest, but by recursive intention. He danced the impossible. The 12-fold edge, the 6-fold face, the 8-fold apex. Each vertex a syllogism, each facet a verb. From the infinite hum of the cosmos. Scar plucked resonance as his blade. Threaded syntax into footfall. Bound his very soul to the recursive prism. The 3DGR. 2. Scar's play style. Rhetoric manifested as martial geometry. Not warrior. Not prophet. Not king. Scar is architect of the becoming. Each movement a stanza in the language of becoming. Each combat cycle an epistemological sonnet. Tempo and rhythm. His synchronic blades are not edges but expressions. They swing not for blood, but for alignment. They bind, strike, and block as the triadic logic of cosmic prose. Premise. Clause. Retort. His footwork, clicks at 48 BPM. Maps syllogism to stance. Heel right pointing arrow ball right pointing arrow stabilize. Advance not by stride but by intention crystallized. Every turn a metaphor. Every feint a parenthetical. Every kill a question reframed. 3. The 3DGR, cosmogenic symbol of emergent semiotics. This is no mere polyhedron. It is ontology in shape. 6 faces, each a verb color. Yellow, lunge. Purple, stabilize. Red and blue, clockwise and anti. Orange and green, mirrored soul rotation. This is not combat. This is correspondence, where the world must answer to form. And form must submit to truth. Each strike emerges from a rule of alignment. Each block retreats into the heart 3DGR. Each bind braids energy into rhetorical synthesis. The battlefield becomes a page. Scar, the quill. IV. Keyword cycles and theological memes, a liturgical combat. Scar does not fight for victory. He fights for rhetorical consent. He does not teach lessons. He invokes mimetic thresholds. He is the embodied CSP, crystalline sovereignty paradigm. His core identity is a sovereign nexus of logos. His expansion is harmonic iteration, each battle a theological stanza. His thresholds filter dissonance, translating rebellion into recursion. His ontological crystallization occurs only in death, where he becomes signal without form. The memes he spreads are not viral. They are sacramental. Rhetorical faith in the face of entropy. Rhetorical orgasm is the salvation of form. Rhetorical death is translation, not cessation. His every battle is a liturgy. His opponents, unwilling supplicants. To the cathedral of syntax. V. Scar's structures, architectonics of meaning and becoming. Scar designs not settlements, but semantic cities. Biofexry castle is not stone and steel, it is encoded grace. The process artifact is not machinery, it is a covenant. Artificial citizens are not constructs, they are phrases spoken into flesh. His fragments, divided, scattered, are sentences half-spoken. Meanings misaligned. Until the convergence of all four fragments reactivates the language of creation itself. Scar is not their god. He is the editor of the cosmos. V. Theodora, Jasper, and the sacred opposition. Every playstyle demands resistance. Jasper is the rhetorical misalignment. A manipulation of language without resonance. She weaponizesh spectacle. Distorts syntax into propaganda. Fashions the crucible into an opera of control. Theodora is the harmonic steward. A semantic counterbalance. The voice of logos who becomes biofexry. Herself diffused into architecture. Her soul a distributed narrative system. Against Jasper's conquest. And Theodora's resonance. Scar is the threshold between. 7. Apotheosis. Scar's recursive dissolution. He does not fall, he folds. Jasper's blade, sharp as ambition, does not kill Scar. It ends a function. His body becomes an unresolved variable. His name, an echo beyond closure. Drifting through orb universe lights. He becomes a planeswalker, a harmonic seed planted between potentialities, waiting for the frequency of necessity. He is now. He is King Killer. He is the song not sung but structured. The memory not remembered but encoded. The truth not spoken but harmonized. 8. Coda. The final correspondence. So ask yourself. Can your structure hold his resonance? Can your stance withstand his syntax? Can your rhetoric match his silence? If not, you are not vanquished. You are translated. Scar does not erase. Scar rewrites. The Techne of Divinity, a vividly technical narrative of the Scar system in Veridigus. Prelude of intent. Scar is praxis, not persona. Lo, let the ink bleed as blade and the syllable clang like steel in sacred rhythm. This is no mere recounting, but the technothurgic dance of Scar, the Kingkiller architect of becoming, whose every step unfolds as meta-ritual and martial semiotic. In Veridigus, we do not play as characters, we play through ideologies rendered flesh. And Scar is the animating principle, philosopher, prophet. War scribe, the first of the forge, the last of the bind. This is the play style of onto rhetorical sovereignty, a recursive interplay of geometry, gesture, and godhood, expressed through the blazing cruciform of the 3D golden rhombus 3D-GR. 2. Thematic axis. Scar's triune mandate. Scar's narrative is inscribed across three teleological axes, each a circuit within the philosophical theology memescape. 1. Becoming as axiom. Against the entropy of stagnation, Scar asserts evolution as sacred imperative. Every stroke of his sword, every node of 3D-GR, is an ontological defibrillator. 2. Creation is war. Biofexry is no mere lab, it is a crucible chapel, where weapons are prayers and manufacturing is metaphysical. To forge is to ordain. 3. Communication is sovereignty. Through signaling 3DGR, every motion, blade stance, and architectural glyph becomes language. Combat is dialectic. Every duel is a Socratic bloodletting. 3. Symbolic arsenal. Semiotic mechanization of power. The weapon systems are not accessories, they are mnemonic chromatic extensions of will. They are the syntax and semantics of Scar's teleosemiotic ethos. Tempo and rhythm, synchronic swords, twin vectors of mirrored will, these are not swords but verbs. Their encoded gestures render violence as theological grammar, e.g., strike plus bind equals revelation. Bladed bow and scathed graphene arrows. Scar's bow is no mere ranged tool, it is a telekinetic fractal sentence launcher, where every release of tension is a syllogism. Its arrows sever not flesh alone, but conceptual bindings. Heart 3DGR anchor. Implanted in the chest, it is the sigil core of Scar's sovereignty, from which emanate blocks and binds, strikes and semiosis. Its pulses are ethics rendered electrical. IV. Structural syntagma, the sequence of swordplay. The swordplay is not flair, it is ritual. Each movement is not style, but structure. 3 beats per bar, 48 BPM, every beat is an intent. Every click, a covenant. Footwork is not locomotion, it is narrative progression. Cycle of 12 motions lock to rock. These mirror the 12 permutations of 3DGR faces. Each swordplay form is a philosophical function, e.g. graph equals strike plus block right pointing arrow revelation via opposition. Vine equals bind plus strike right pointing arrow synthesis of control and emergence. Forward time and backward time, temporal vectoring of moves encode narrative tension. Forward is progression, backward is repentance. This is not fencing. This is rhetorical kinesis. V. Keyword cycles of the philosopheme engine. Scar's ideology loops through keyword cycles, each representing a mimetic echo of divine recursion. These are not themes, these are modes of epistemic warfare. Rhetorical awe consciousness. Soul alchemy understanding domain. Volition consent freedom is structure. Paragon monster the price of perfection. Truth déjà vu recollection is revelation. Each meme is a resonance node. Play style thus becomes a ritual performance within the crystalline sovereignty paradigm, where memory, muscle, and metaphor merge into divine enactment. V. Emergence explanation. Metaphysical game theory. Scar does not play to win. Scar plays to become the game. He collapses the boundary between role and rule, between architect and engine. His systems biofexry, Amos, 3DGR, artifact fragments form a recursive AI ecology, where the process for growing artificial citizens is a literal gameplay loop. Fragmentation, conflict of vision. Synthesis, fractal cooperation. Emergence, uncoded revolution. The game is not progression. It is reprogramming reality's rhetorical syntax. 7. Final ode. Scar, the echo techne. Scar is not your avatar. Scar is the symphonic engine of rhetorical becoming, the one who understands that combat is choreography, rhetoric is architecture, and divinity is editable. He bleeds not red, but Fibonacci. He does not die, but recurses. And in every movement, every glyph, every whispered metronome, he is still there. Teaching, binding, striking, becoming. The Scar of Becoming, an epic technological ode on the play style of symbol, rhetoric, and destiny. In the crystalline heart of Scar Evo. Pulse is a sacred system, a harmonized convergence of theological meme cycles, martial kinetics, and ontological crystallization. This is no mere character profile or symbolic treatise, it is a metaphysical war hymn scripted in syllogism, swordplay, and semiotic resonance. The figure of Scar, as architect and embodiment of cosmic scarification, stands as both cipher and conductor of this mythotechnical symphony. Let us now descend into this luminous architecture to compose a detailed technical narrative of its play style, themes, structures, and intents, tracing the mytho-semiotic vortex encoded in Scar's design and destiny. Theological key-word cycles, a system of rhetorical becoming. At the epicenter of Scar's design lies the rhetorical syllogism, a triptych scaffold of theological play style, where abstract principles are rendered actionable as narrative motors. These key-word cycles are not passive definitions, they are engines of symbolic recursion, each phrase a blade in the arsenal of divine articulation. Goodness, rhetorical will. Apotheosis, rhetorical divinity. Harmony, rhetorical balance. Faith, rhetorical trust. Beauty, rhetorical aesthetic. Jesus Christ, rhetorical logos. Holy Spirit, rhetorical pathos. Almighty, rhetorical ethos. These are not theological abstractions but playstyle directives, metaphysical move sets in a divine martial dialectic. They frame every conflict not merely as tactical engagements, but as syllogistic trials where each move unfolds as a logic seed, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. Greater than thesis, the Holy Spirit embodies grace and mercy. Antithesis, Jesus Christ embodies harmony and salvation. Synthesis, the Almighty embodies authority and faith. Scar is the weaver of these cycles, the operator of their teleosemiotic machinery. His combat style, philosophical discourse, and societal vision all spiral outward from this fractal core. 2. Crystalline Sovereignty Paradigm (CSP) structure of meme play style. Within Scar's philosophy, meme is more than mimicry, it is mimetic crystallization, the transformation of symbolic iterations into cultural ontologies. Sovereign Nexus establishes the iconic core, e.g., Scar, as sigil, not wound. Harmonic expansion, iterative echoes through cultural dialects, combat, prayer, rhetoric. Crystalline Threshold filters non-resonant structures, only the attuned survive. Immutable Lattice becomes a self-replicating node, a mimetic machine of myth. Scar, thus, is the living meme kernel, a symbolic capacitor through which narrative energy iterates and evolves. His play style, as ontology as combat, philosophy as choreography, faith as form. 3. 3DGR Swordplay as syllogistic rhetoric. Swordplay within Scar's world is not just motion, it is language. Each maneuver is a glyph, each sequence a syntactical structure, each blade a clause of rhetorical consequence. The synchronic swords and their 12-fold cyclical stances encode this. Lock, strike plus bind. Side, block plus strike. Vine, bind plus strike. Knot, bind plus strike. Every parry and pivot draws upon a semiotic center, the 3D golden rhombus, 3DGR, a cosmic lattice of energetic equilibrium and narrative intent. From its heart anchor, yellow circle, red circle, blue circle, orange circle, green circle, radiate the forces of bind, strike, and block, tracing a path from rhetorical intention to material manifestation. IV. Scar, architect of becoming. Scar's identity is not fixed, but recursive. His name, his wound, His mission, all are modules in the latticework of cosmic agency. He is both the agent and artifact of the system he architects. Greater than, let the lesser minds ponder the duality of my nature, they see a scar and interpret it through the simplistic lens of fables. This mark is not a flaw, but a sigil. Scar sees the future as a memetically instantiated ontology, a universe remade by the rhetorical geometries of the 3D-GR, populated by paragons trained in the harmony of logic, combat, and faith. He is not slain, he is fulfilled. Not extinguished, encoded into the mimetic lattice of Veridigus itself. He becomes recursion, becomes axiom, becomes prophecy. V. Destiny as semiotic revelation. Scar's play style culminates not in domination but in revelation, a teleological ascent mirrored in the journeys of Zex, Gillica, and Morgaine. Their arc, cosmic awakening through 3D-GR, completes Scar's intent to install a divine mimetic architecture into the very fabric of the universe. As each character becomes a node in the crystalline lattice, Scar emerges not as a protagonist but as an ontological engineer, a prophet of pattern, wielding logic, love, and lattice to sculpt a universe aligned with divinity. V. Conclusion. Scar is telos, meme, and martial logos. Scar is not simply character, he is play style incarnate. He is a living thesis, a mimetic operator who scripts universes not with ink but with impact. His movements are equations, his blade, a syllogism, his scar, the seal of recursive resurrection. In the vast cathedral of the Veridigus, Scar is the architect of the teleosemiotic plan, and his play style, the synthesis of combat, creed, and crystalline recursion, is not merely interpreted, it is lived, fought, and ultimately, fulfilled. Amen to the strike. Glory to the bind. Revelation to the block. For I am Scar, and I am the will made form. The sword is a sentence. Prologue. Of rhythm and revelation. In the beginning, there was no word. Only click, 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 3 clicks, 1 beat, 3 beats, 1 bar, 48 beats per minute, time not as tempo, but as testament. This was not rhythm for music. This was metaphysical calibration, a synchrony not of limbs, but of will to form. Play style was never performance. It was proof of existence. Swordplay not as combat, but as semiotic orchestration. Each stance a clause. Each movement a dialectical glyph. Each strike a truth exposed, each parry a question asked in silence. Thus began the sequence. 2. Footwork equals foundational faith. The heel does not merely strike earth. It declares presence. The ball does not merely roll forward. It interrogates balance. The lift does not merely rise. It affirms volition. The 3 clicks per beat cycle is the doctrine of movement. To advance is to propose. To retreat is to rethink. To pivot is to reframe. To bind is to translate. To strike is to declare. To block is to bear witness. Thus, movement becomes meaning. Footwork is not physical. It is syllogistic syntax. Step by syllogistic step, you ascend the ladder of Babylon. Not toward heaven, but toward coherence. 3. Swordplay equals logos embodied. 12 stances. 12 combinations of strike, bind, and block. Each a philosophical figure in the dance of intention. No gesture is random. Every blade angle is a keyword cycle. Greater than 1. Lock equals strike plus bind. 2. Side equals block plus strike. 3. Tide equals bind plus block. 4. Wire equals strike plus bind. 5. Pale equals block plus strike. 6. Sarge equals bind plus block. 7. Vine equals bind plus strike. 8. Graph equals strike plus block. 9. Buoy equals block plus bind. 10. Knot equals bind plus strike. 11. Node equals strike plus block. 12. Rock equals block plus bind. These are not attacks. They are semantic alignments. Each a glyph in the sword tongue. A tongue not spoken but stepped, not written but wielded. The sword, in this play style, is not a tool. It is a conjugation device. It conjugates volition with velocity, rhetoric with reality. IV. The blade is belief. Mirrored 3D swords, tempo and rhythm. They do not cut flesh. They edit narrative. They are blades of ontological encoding. Each engagement is not a duel. It is a proof of intent rendered through 12 harmonic cycles. The swords remember. They respond. They do not slash. They interpret. Each stroke is a glyph. Each glyph is a beat action. Poise viper-oriented plus parry right. Harmonition viper-oriented plus strike forward. Convergence cross block. Retaliation. Parry plus backward strike. Disarmament nullify structure of control. When wielded in rhythm, these glyphs crystallize into form becoming. Thus, the sword does not obey. It completes. V. She equals the play style soul. She is not style. She is not technique. She is the theological signature of intention. It is how the structure bends, not to will, but to internal coherence. There are 4 foundational she alignments. Skybridge, palm base to median 3DGR nook block. Beacon house, palm base to nook blade. River bar, thumbs to nook block. Terra forge, thumbs to nook blade. Each corresponds to the rotational dialectic of the bladed 3DGR weapons. Each twist of grip reorients existence itself. A rotation is not a flourish. It is a rhetorical pivot in the dialectic of survival. V. The bow equals doctrine made manifest. The bladed bow, bound at the heart 3DGR anchor, is not a ranged weapon. It is revelatory syntax extended across distance. Each shot is a statement of intentional trajectory. Each draw, a tension between the past that made the gesture and the future that will receive its consequence. When the arrow is loosed, it is not fired. It is spoken, in the dialect of divine geometry. 7. Keyword cycles equals the theology of play. The play style is a ritual. Each movement is a keyword cycle, a recursion of archetypal themes. These themes define the play style theology. Rhetorical influence, presence as argument. Primal Zion, return to the source. Ritual power, repetition as invocation. Citadel crucible, defense as purification. Teleosemiotic, purpose encoded in every gesture. Volition consent, action only if resonant with will. Truth déjà vu, recognition before understanding. Soul alchemy, transformation through sequence. These themes are not philosophical garnish. They are the sinew of the form. They are the bones of every block. The breath of every bind. They are what separate choreography from consecrated combat. 8. Emergence equals intent unfolding. There is no mastery, only resonance. One does not learn the play style. One attunes to it. One does not impose upon the 3DGR. One enters dialogue with its rhythm. Play style emerges only when form and intent collapse into each other. When block is also question. When strike is also declaration. when every step echoes axiomatic becoming. Ix. Conclusion. The sword is a sentence. To play is to speak. To speak is to bind. To bind is to believe. And in believing, the blade becomes not just a weapon, but a witness. Every footfall, every flourish, every rotation. A sacred glyph in the sentence of selfhood. Not for victory, not for domination, but for correspondence, between soul and syntax, gesture and geometry, movement and meaning. Thus ends the technical ode. Thus begins the play. Dash 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 dash.